You guys are talking about combating this on several different fronts. One, behavioral, which, BCT, behavioral cognitive therapy, I've often referred to it as like a Band-Aid in that, you remove the bad food, you get on the scale, you track your weight, you change the habits. But that does go a long way. Where it will fail you is if you still refuse to do the deeper work. And each and every one of you had a story that was relatable to the tens of millions of people around the world that watched the show. And each and every one of you who kept it off did the deeper work. And then to take it a step further, many of you became coaches, wellness experts, went into the world and paid it forward, which is exactly my story. I was the overweight kid. I had a martial arts teacher. He helped me. I went into the world. I said, okay, guys, these are the tools. You guys went into the world, paid it forward. But for everybody listening, you have to attack this on multiple fronts. You've got to get real. You got to deal with your shit, no matter how you need to do it, whether it's a community, whether it's a therapist. You got to remove the negative influences in your life. Surround yourself. You married a personal trainer. Micah couldn't be more loving and supportive. You're going to hear those themes. People divorcing from bad marriages, abusive relationships, and then tackling it in a very everyday, real way of removing bad food from the environment, getting on the scale, staying accountable. Hannah, to the people watching this right now who are struggling with that first step, actually, what best advice? Speak to them right now. H, you go first. 5, you go next.
Well, number one, you need to get emotional help because having weight on your body is also an emotional symptom of trauma. And we all know that. You have to get that emotional help. B, this is kind of controversial. A lot of coaches don't agree with this, but you don't have to start going 100 miles an hour. We know that's not going to last. Our situation was very different.
Very.
But can't you just start with cleaning out your pantry? Can't you start with taking a walk? Like I always tell people all the time, you don't have to run a marathon your first month of losing weight. Like that's
because they're
intimidated.
It's overwhelming.
They are so intimidated. And I also want to say everybody's weight loss looks different. You cannot compare your weight loss to someone you see on Instagram or someone that you see on TV. You have to take your own journey and you have to take responsibility for that.
Not only that, take credit for when the scale stays put, for holding ground. Yeah. People don't understand that they were gradually putting it on. So the fact that they're not able to work out 4 hours a day and have somebody pick out their calories meticulously and lose 5, 6, 7 pounds a week, if you hold your ground, that means you've made massive changes because you're not putting on 2 pounds a month, 24 pounds a year, 50 pounds in 2 years. Even if it's a pound a month, guys, 100 extra calories a day is roughly a pound a month, 12 pounds a year, 2 years, we're 25 pounds in.
Right.
I mean, it's like perspective is key. Mish?
Okay, so, I think for me, I would say to someone, because I think I've been just really blessed to meet so many people who have watched the show, and many of them, I will be honest with you, have never struggled with weight. And I find that to be absolutely fascinating. But when you say, they related to the stories and our lives and the things about us, like I am blown away by that. And so I feel like it is equally as important. If you're struggling with weight and you're looking for where to start, yes, like you've got to start moving, you've got to start doing those things. But I also need people to look at like, well, what is your why? Like, why would you want to make a change? What is it you're wanting to do that you can't do today or that you think you can't do today? Because if you could start with that, then you can start to build on that. You really need something you can work towards. In my writing my weight down every day, one of the things I do is I'm like, what does a non-scale victory look like for me this month? And I'm like, I need something other, because the scale over time, you look at the numbers and they all kind of just run together.
Yeah.
That 0.2 loss here and there just kind of is a blur, but it's like, is there a non-scale victory for me that will motivate me a little bit more? Not so much in a vanity sense, I flew down here and it's never lost on me when that seatbelt buckles and you don't need an extender or you feel comfortable and you feel normal. And so little things like that will be those motivators when the scale isn't moving, when the scale isn't giving you what you want. You still need something that keeps inching you forward. And if you can, keep yourself accountable in that way. And I've told people when they come to me and they're like, oh, I lost this much weight, but I did it. It took me like 2 years or what. I'm like, that's great. I'm like, the easiest thing to
Yes.
do is to lose weight on The Biggest Loser. I'm like, you got a camera in your face, a trainer yelling at you, someone's buying your food. Like, if you don't lose weight there, you're probably, doing something wrong. But I was like, and if you have taken 2, 3, 4 years to take off 100 pounds or 50 pounds, I'm like, that's success, guys. Like, that is success. And they should be proud. They should be proud that it takes time and that they've stayed committed to it for all of that, because their life is better on the other side, and they're living healthier, happier lives because of it.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.